It's now time for your favorite in-depth basketball show with the myths, the legends, Nard Dogg and Raindrops Goulet!
It's been a while, but we are back to talk what is happening in the National Basketball Association. It's Justin Raindrops Goulet here with you, joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Nard Dogg, David Bernardi, for another edition of Full Court Press. How's it going, Nard Dogg?
It's going pleasant. Loving today's trade deadline.
Pretty exciting stuff. Oh, yeah, man. Like, it was right off the get-go. Like I was saying to you before we started recording, I read an article earlier in the morning. It was Isaiah Thomas saying that he's tired of getting traded and he didn't want to get traded again. Lo and behold, like half an hour later, Cavaliers trade Isaiah Thomas. Crazy. That was the first big splash of the trade deadline day. Maybe focus a little bit on that one. What do you think about that move?
Midday yesterday, I was thinking the only way the Cavs can keep LeBron is they have to trade Isaiah Thomas, and they got to get some decent players, and that's exactly what happened today. So I think this is the Cavs' last-ditch effort to sway LeBron into possibly staying. I still don't see it happening, but they had to do something, right?
Yeah, exactly, and they certainly did. It's almost like they demolished their entire roster and said, hey, let's start from scratch in one day. You know what? At the end of it all, I don't know if I could actually choose who won this trade. The Lakers, they got Isaiah Thomas, Channing Frye, and a 2018 first-round pick. But the Cavaliers got Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance Jr., two younger guys with a lot of upside and potential to, have some kind of an impact at least going forward. So I guess if you did have to pick one, I'd say maybe the Cavaliers even won this trade.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Cavs for sure won this trade. Clarkson's a great shooter. Larry Nance is a young talent. We'll be seeing his talents at the dunk contest on Saturday. And yeah, I'm watching last night's game. It's 138-136 for the Wolves. LeBron has the ball, and he drives to the net, ties the game, and you can see Isaiah Thomas with his hands up flailing like, what about me? And like, I thought it was hilarious. Like, I knew the writing was on the wall when I saw that play happen.
And you look at with Isaiah Thomas, he gets traded over to the Los Angeles Lakers, and right off the bat, there's trouble in paradise already because he doesn't want to come off the bench.
I knew from the get-go it wasn't a fit for Isaiah Thomas. Him and LeBron, I just knew they wouldn't coexist, and here we are, trade deadline, and he's gone to the Los Angeles Lakers.
Over to Hollywood to play with Lonzo Ball. Another big move. Well, yeah, I guess relatively big move by the Cavaliers because they really pulled off the most moves on trade deadline day, that's for sure. 3-team deal between Sacramento Kings, the Utah Jazz, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavs got George Hill and Rodney Hood, Derrick Rose and Jay Crowder off to Utah, Joe Johnson to Sacramento, and Iman Shumpert also going to the Sacramento Kings. It's just shipping away a lot of pieces and getting some new blood. And like you said, it's possibly just a way to convince LeBron to stay in Cleveland come the end of the season.
Yeah, George Hill's a starting point guard, so the Cavs got themselves a starting point guard there. And Rodney Hood's a great shooter. Can't go wrong there.
It's interesting to see what's happening in Cleveland because this season for them it's just been a mess. There's calling out guys with their own agendas. They're losing miserably. Like, they got crushed by the Raptors a few weeks ago. What a dominant performance that was. And it was great. As a Raptors fan, it was amazing to see. That was the best game that the Raptors played all season long, you'd say, aside from possibly this past week's game against the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, it was funny because LeBron James not too long ago, he said, I think it was their last blowout loss on national television. He said, we're 0-8 this season on national television. Just don't put us on national television again. And last night they win finally. And all of social media acts like they just won the championship.
I know, it's not, and the thing is, they won in overtime by 2 against the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Take it easy.
I know, it's like, everybody just calm down. It's not, yeah, like you said, they haven't won the championship, at least not yet, and honestly, like, even with all the adjustments that they made today, say, hypothetically, it's Cavaliers, Warriors in the finals again, I think the Warriors are still going to take the NBA championship.
Now, I think these trades today they'll keep the Cavs in third place for the rest of the season. They have no chance of catching the Raptors. Raptors are too far ahead, and the Celtics.
Oh yeah, and the Raptors have too much momentum too, and they're playing so well. And I'm very hopeful that they keep the momentum going all the way until the end of the season and into the playoffs.
And the Cavs made one last trade, a familiar foe to the Heat, the Flash. Dwayne Wade goes back to Miami.
He's going back to where it all started. It comes full circle, very much like LeBron James, but not unlike LeBron, this wasn't really by his own choice. Wade, of course, starting off playing the first 13 seasons of his career in Miami, now back in South Beach, so maybe that's just where he is destined to end his career.
Let's be honest, he's not the player he used to be, but he'll add some veteran leadership to that young Miami squad that are looking pretty good this year.
And the thing is, the Cavaliers didn't really get much for Wade. They just got that protected second-round pick for the 2020 draft, but that's going to the Sacramento Kings as part of that earlier 3-team deal. So basically, the Miami Heat kind of got Dwayne Wade for nothing. But hey, who knows? We'll see how that turns out. A few other big deals that happened in the NBA. One little, not necessarily too big this one, but one that is worth mentioning, and we take a moment to reflect how lucky we were to have such great times with the Brazilian Kevin Durant, Bruno Caboclo. Unfortunately, his time with the Toronto Raptors has come to an end.
Yeah. He was always 2 years away from being 2 years away.
Yeah.
But that was great from that international scout.
Yeah.
Think about it, this would be the 4th year, isn't it? I think he was drafted 2014, so...
Yeah, so, you know.
This is the 4th year, and he did win that championship with the Raptors 905.
Yeah, that's true. So he did do really well in the development league, in the NBA G League. So, but hey, who knows? Maybe he's going to get a huge portion of minutes in Sacramento, and he's going to explode.
There's talk of him getting waived.
Oh, really? Poor guy. Well, I hope he could find, because Bruno Caboclo just seems so likable. So I'm hoping that he finds a good fit somewhere that he could continue to develop that play and be even more years away from being years away.
The Brazilian Kevin Durant.
The Brazilian Kevin Durant. Yeah, so the Raptors, I don't really know too much about Malachi Richardson.
He's a late first-round pick from last year.
Yeah, he's injured right now.
He'll be a G Leaguer. We'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm. But it works out for the Raptors because, you know, it frees them up some space to possibly sign a veteran later on this season going into the playoffs, someone that could bring that extra leadership and that extra experience and help them get that much further into the playoffs.
There's talk of the Kings buying out the newly acquired Joe Johnson and Vince Carter. 2 guys that would fill a Raptors need.
You mentioned a former foe to the Miami Heat, former foe to the Toronto Raptors, Joe Johnson, definitely fits that bill with his time playing with the Brooklyn Nets. But
I hated him on the Nets.
Oh, same.
Raptors.
Same. Well, it's funny because you look back at someone like Hedo Turkoglu. I hated Hedo Turkoglu when he played for the Orlando Magic and the Raptors were up against the Magic in the playoffs many moons ago. And then he came to Toronto and I was like, all right, I'll give him a chance. Obviously, we know how that turned out. It did not end well. But hypothetically, if the Raptors were to get Joe Johnson... There it is. The best answer to any question ever. If Joe Johnson hypothetically ended up on the Raptors, you know, that could work out nicely. For nostalgia's sake, I'd prefer that Vince Carter...
Vince Carter still balls out at his age.
Yeah, he's 41 now? Yeah, 41, and he's still killing it in the league. He's still such a good player.
There's also talk of Tony Allen getting bought out by He was traded to Chicago, I'm pretty sure. With him getting bought out.
Yeah.
A great defensive player. He probably fits Dwayne Casey's style of play, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Other trades that happened were Emmanuel Mudiay going to the Knicks.
Yeah.
Harris going to the Nuggets, and Doug McDermott going to Dallas.
It'll be good for Emmanuel Mudiay in New York City.
Yeah, he's the most talented player in that trade, and things were just falling out with him in Denver with Jamal Murray, Canadian shout-out.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and Gary Harris, and then you have a bunch of other young players there. Mudiay just wasn't fitting in, and right now they're a playoff team, so might as well get a veteran guy like Devin Harris for him.
Exactly, yeah. Bring that leadership to the locker room and help them going forward. A few other trades. Elfrid Payton going to the Phoenix Suns. And the Orlando Magic, in return, got a 2018 second-round pick. I think the clear-cut winner there is the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Elfrid Payton, he's only, 23 years old. Very talented. He was able to develop his game a lot while playing with the Magic.
Yeah, I don't know what the Magic are doing, because they were dangling Aaron Gordon around.
Yeah.
That didn't happen to David.
Yeah,
you saw what happened when they traded Oladipo. He's an all-star now.
Oh, yeah.
See, what are they doing there in Orlando?
Well, it's certainly not Magic. Hey,
they love their Terrence Ross.
Oh yeah.
Was it 8 points a game?
Yeah, solid plays right there. A few other deals. The Blazers traded Noah Vonleh to the Bulls for Milovan Rakovic.
Milovan Rakovic. Love that name.
Nothing too much to say there. One other one that I want to bring up and get your thoughts on is, of course, just a couple weeks ago, Blake Griffin, now a member of the Detroit Pistons. What do you think about that?
I think that'll probably put the Pistons in the playoffs. They could be a tough matchup for, say, the Cavs or Raptors. First round.
Oh, yeah. Bring back that bad boys era of the Detroit Pistons.
But yeah, good trade for the Pistons. It'll put some butts in the seats there.
Oh, yeah.
They haven't been in attendance lately, so
yeah, help them out. Another move that's in the Atlantic Division, Boston Celtics signing Greg Monroe.
Yeah, it was a good deft signing for the Celtics, and there's potentially Gordon Hayward coming back in the next month.
Wow,
Damn.
Kyrie Irving, Greg Monroe, and Gordon Hayward. Boston is a force to be reckoned with. They weren't so much so on Tuesday against the Toronto Raptors in that blowout loss. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was quite exciting.
Yeah, that because you were actually at the game. So that what was the mood like in the arena? Because that must have been a playoff like atmosphere.
As you've seen before, the ACC, they just go crazy. It's an awesome place to be around every single time.
Oh yeah, I think honestly, and I may be a little biased in saying this, but Raptors fans, the best fans in the NBA. The noise in the Air Canada Centre is deafening.
And outside the Air Canada Centre at Jurassic Park.
Yeah, yeah, Jurassic Park brings out the crowds for sure, and it's packed every time. It's amazing. The fan base in Toronto is something to behold. It is absolutely amazing. And watching that game on Tuesday against the Celtics, the way they were pushing the ball and how fast they were playing, and seeing those younger players just help carry them through the end, and Dwayne Casey was able to rest his starters. It's amazing, and it's something that you could really take a lot of joy in as a Raptors fan. It's a beautiful sight.
Let's talk about the Raptors season.
Yeah.
DeMar DeRozan. He's a top 5 MVP candidate. This season, he's been an all-around player, and he's added that three-point shot.
I know, which has been something that's kind of been lacking from his game. That's been the one thing to add to his game for the past few years now. It's amazing to see how well he's playing. Both DeRozan and Kyle Lowry are playing phenomenal basketball, but DeRozan even more so. And you see he's gotten better and better as the years have gone by. Last season was his career season. This season is his career season. Go back just a few weeks ago, that New Year's Day game when he set a franchise record with 52 points. Unbelievable.
Now, this is a record that had to be broken because we all know who had that record, Mr. Terrence Ross.
Tied with Vince Carter, of course, but it makes it a little bit better when it's just one player that has that record.
Yeah.
And it's, we all knew that one day it would be DeMar DeRozan to break that number.
He's had his 40-point games, and now that 52-point game. Gotta love it.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I love it. I am so happy with how the Raptors are playing. And it's not just the starters. The starters are doing a fantastic job. It's their bench. The Raptors have one of, if not the best bench in the NBA.
You know what? Give the Raptors bench the sixth man of the year. Siakam, Pirtle, DeLon Wright, CJ Miles, it's on and on. Every single night, one of those players, or multiple of those players, are showing up.
Oh, it's absolutely incredible. The thing is, it's not just one bench player that is a standout. They are the definition of a second unit because they are a unit, because they work so well together. And what I love about the Raptors bench and their second unit is that they come in and they don't lose any momentum. They keep that pressure going, they keep that fast play going, and they just don't let up. It's awesome. It is just absolutely awesome.
It just seems every single time they're on the floor, they have something to prove. It happens. Like, Norman Powell's had an off year. You can't deny it. He's had a really bad year.
Yeah.
But recently he's kind of picked it up, and it's nice to see. But yeah, like, their bench is amazing.
It's fantastic. And let's take a quick moment to talk about OG Anunoby.
Oh, man.
Damn. Like, wow. I just full-on super fan of OG Anunoby. This late draft pick that was projected to go in the top 10, and the Raptors hit the true draft jackpot by getting OG Anunoby.
Yeah, the thing is, his stats don't show how good he's been this season.
Oh yeah, no, they don't. Like, it's not like you look at his numbers and you go, "Oh wow, he's posting up these huge numbers every single game." No, you have to watch the games, and then you actually watch him and see the impact that he's making, whether it be on the defensive or offensive end, and that really stands out.
Yeah, he plays like a player that's been in the league for 5-10 seasons. That's awesome.
It's incredible. I want OG Anunoby to be a part of the long-term Raptors plan. He's got that length. He's got that speed. He has to work on his shooting a little bit, but his ball handling and his passing is good. It's amazing. This Raptors young core just blows my mind how good they are. Pascal Siakam, for a big man, his hands are incredible. Amazing passer. Jakob Poeltl, for a developing big man, his post moves are awesome. Like, it just, I get so excited talking about this Raptors bench and this Raptors team because I think that this is the best Raptors roster. I honestly think, I may be crazy for saying this, but I think, and I know they're young and the playoffs haven't started and we still have quite a bit to go through the season, but I think this is the best when it's all said and done, this is going to be the best Raptors roster of all time.
Yeah. When you look at all the teams the past few years that have made the playoffs, and you look at this team, they just play so much differently, a different style. And Dwayne Casey has adjusted everything and done an amazing job. And on to Dwayne Casey, he earned his first ever coaching of the All-Star team, a Raptors coach coaching the All-Star team. How good is that?
I love it.
Great.
I love it. It's amazing. Dwayne Casey is the best coach in Raptors history. Hands down, the best coach.
I'll admit, when he first started, like the first couple seasons, I was like, But he's grown on me these years, and especially this season. What a transformation he's done.
They have such a good team. You've got Masai Ujiri, who is an amazing NBA executive. You've got Dwayne Casey, who is a legitimate potential Coach of the Year candidate.
Yeah.
And now he's, as you said, the first ever NBA All-Star Game coach in Raptors history. And it's wonderful to see, and it's so well-deserved. The funny thing about that, though, of course, as we know, is that he's actually going to be coaching Team LeBron. And he's going to be coaching against Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan. Which I don't know, I think it's kind of funny, and I think it's kind of cool, and it's going to be very interesting to see how that all plays out. But of course, as we know, during the All-Star game, the coaches don't necessarily run a lot of plays. They're more so there just as figureheads, but it's kind of funny.
But yeah, it's like one of those moments where like a Raptors coach finally coaches the All-Star team, and he can't even coach his own players.
I know. Well, you know what? It's almost par for the course for the Toronto Raptors organization. It's just, it's another it's another wrench thrown in, but at least this time it's kind of comedic.
Now let's take a look at those All-Star teams. There's Team Curry, Giannis Antetokounmpo, DeMar DeRozan, Joel Embiid, James Harden, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, Al Horford, Damian Lillard, Kyle Lowry, Klay Thompson, and Karl Anthony Towns.
Oh yeah.
What do you think of that squad?
Honestly, I'm pulling for Team Curry.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Joel Embiid. I think he's one of the funniest dudes in the NBA. I really like Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's a potential future NBA MVP. The kid is phenomenal. James Harden is great. Jimmy Butler. It's a really, really good roster. Of course, Team LeBron, he's got a really good team too. But personally, I'm pulling for Team Curry, mainly, of course, because DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry they're a part of that squad. So, what about you?
Yeah, Team Curry. It just looks like a team that's all around like team players, kind of. I feel like that's what Curry was going for when they did that draft with him and LeBron. That's what Curry was going for, just team players that he thought would play well together. Yeah. And Team LeBron, you got Durant, Kyrie Irving, DeMarcus Cousins, who's getting replaced by Paul George, Anthony Davis, Bradley Beal, LaMarcus Aldridge, Kevin Love, who got replaced by Goran Dragic. I'm kind of iffy on that pick.
I agree.
And a very deserving player, Victor Oladipo. What he's done with the Pacers in his first season is incredible.
Well, I'm really happy that Victor Oladipo was selected. Like you said, very deserving. He's just really turned things around, and he's having a career year.
Yeah, and of course Russell Westbrook, John Wall, who got injured, he's out almost 2 months. Andre Drummond's replacing him, which is well deserved for Andre Drummond.
Yeah.
He's a talented player. And just a few days ago, Kristaps Porzingis tore his ACL, unfortunately, and he's out, and Kemba Walker's taking his place.
Yeah, that was too bad to see about Porzingis, because this is such a promising young player, so it's pretty sad to see him go out pretty much done, for the rest of the season.
Those ACL injuries are awful.
Oh, it's brutal, man. So who do you got for the All-Star game this year?
It's gonna be intriguing seeing LeBron and Durant play together, and you got the reunion with Kyrie Irving.
That'll be interesting. That's a story in and of itself.
I think it's gonna be a really close game, but in the end, I'd have to give I'd give it to Team LeBron.
I like it. I like when we do this. I like when we have different picks. So we'll see who comes out on top. You pull for Team Curry. You've got Team LeBron. I like it.
Now, who's the MVP?
Who's the MVP? As a Raptors fan, I like to go with DeMar DeRozan, but I think, you know who I'm pulling for? I'm actually going to just throw a curveball, and I'm going to say MVP for the 2018 All-Star Game, Giannis.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why. I want to go with Giannis Antetokounmpo and just see what happens. How about you?
I'm pulling for Kevin Durant on this one.
What if Joel Embiid wins the All-Star Game MVP? Could you imagine?
I would not be surprised.
I feel like I really want Joel Embiid to become this generation's Shaquille O'Neal. He's got the comedic timing of Shaq. He's dominant. And how about, you know what, just for a minute, how about those Philadelphia 76ers this season?
Do you think Ben Simmons is a snub?
Personally, because I know he's a rookie, so they don't really want rookies in the All-Star game. That's not usually what's done. But with how he's played, I think that Ben Simmons certainly deserved to be an All-Star. He's playing like an All-Star. What is he? He's the second or third in the league with most triple-doubles, and the guy's a rookie. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's as I was alluding before when I said Goran Dragic's name, I was like, I don't know, should he have been an All-Star or not?
I don't think Goran Dragic should have been an All-Star. I think Ben Simmons deserves it more than Goran Dragic. Like, sure, like Goran's playing well, but he's not playing like Ben Simmons. That's for sure.
Yeah, and then you got Kemba Walker, who replaced Porzingis, but Kemba Walker's Hornets aren't doing well this year.
No, not at all.
Great numbers, but on a losing team.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, with that said, though, for the All-Star game, you're not really necessarily picking guys who are playing on the best teams. You're playing guys who are putting up those big numbers and who are doing, are making impacts on their own individual levels.
Yeah. Now that Saturday night showcase, we got the dunk contest. Oladipo, Larry Nance Jr., the newly Cavs player, Dennis Smith Jr. of the Mavericks, and Donovan Mitchell, who's made a case for himself of being a Rookie of the Year.
Oh, yeah. Donovan Mitchell has a good shot at being Rookie of the Year, but I think it's going to go to Ben Simmons. It's not going to go to Lonzo Ball. Obviously, there's a lot of hype around that when he got drafted. But and I think LeVar Ball would beg to differ. But LeVar Ball is a crazy person, so...
I'm excited to see Oladipo in his dunk contest because we saw what he did in Toronto a couple years ago.
Oladipo in the dunk contest, in Toronto, that was fantastic. I could see him stepping it up this coming All-Star weekend and just really upping his game.
I like Larry Nance Jr., but I feel like he's more of an in-game kind of a dunker.
Which is a totally different beast.
Yeah.
Who do you got for the All-Star dunk contest? Who do you think's going to come out on top?
I think it's going to be between Oladipo and Dennis Smith Jr. Dennis Smith Jr.'s got some hops.
Oh, he does. I'm personally pulling for Victor Oladipo just after what he did in Toronto a couple years ago.
Well, I'm going to take Dennis Smith Jr. then.
All right, let's do it. All right, we've got our polls going. I love it. Now, what about the 3-point contest?
Yeah, the 3-point. Eric Gordon, Klay Thompson, Beal, Paul George, Raptors Lowry, Devin Booker, Wayne Ellington, and Tobias Harris.
Who do you think's got this one anybody has this one in the bag?
I'm going to take Devin Booker on this one.
Oh yeah, I know you're a big fan of his.
For sure. He's got it.
I'd like to choose Kyle Lowry, but at the same time, we've seen how Lowry's performed in the past in 3-point shootouts, and he hasn't done too well.
It's not pretty.
No, not at all. You know who I'm actually gonna go with? You know what? Okay, yeah. I have two selections for this. Like as from like a fan's point of view, I'm gonna go with Kyle Lowry.
Yeah.
But from analyzing this, and kind of stepping away, and not so much as a diehard Toronto Raptors fan, I'm actually gonna go with Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
Oh, he's done phenomenal since John Wall got injured.
Yeah. I
believe the Wizards are 4 or 5-0 since Wall got injured, and Beal has just been tearing it up on his own.
Yeah, so he could bring that momentum into the competition, the 3-point contest.
Yeah, so you got your Beal, and I got my Booker.
Yeah, there you go. And hey, if Kyle Lowry wins, then I say that's a win for Full Court Press.
Yeah, that's a win for all of us Torontonians.
Exactly. And of course, there's the Taco Bell Skills Challenge, which is always a lot of fun to watch. I'm so excited. I love NBA All-Star Weekend.
Yeah. It sometimes has its down moments, but overall, it can be a good weekend.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so in the skills competition, we've got Spencer Dinwiddie, Joel Embiid, Al Horford, Lauri Markkanen, Buddy Hield, Jamal Murray, Andre Drummond. Kristaps Porzingis was supposed to be in it, but of course he's injured, so he's not going to participate. And Lou Williams. Now, before you give your predictions for who's going to win the skills competition, talk about All-Star snubs. I think Lou Williams deserved to be an All-Star this season. He's having the best season of his league. He's having a career year. Obviously, he's a former 6th Man of the Year with the Toronto Raptors, but this has really been his season. He's been putting up some big numbers.
Yeah, he's had so many 30-plus point games. It's incredible. And like what he's done for a Clippers team where you look at them on paper, they're not that well, but they're like in the thick of things and getting to the playoffs. And it's all pretty much because of him. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's just because I don't know. He's not a big enough name, maybe? I don't know. It's just, I can't really give my take on that because
Are you upset? Are you indifferent? Or what do you know?
I think 100% if there was another West player that had to pull out because of injury, because we saw Cousins had to pull out because he's out for the season, and
Yeah.
Paul George come on, it's Paul George. But there's no other West players that missed the All-Star game.
Yeah, so it's almost just, being unlucky with what conference you're playing in, right?
And don't get me wrong, Lou Williams is a great player, but there's just too much talent. Maybe they should add another roster spot to the All-Star team so it's fair for people not getting snubbed.
Yeah, there you go. That's something to look into. Well, they are making changes. This year, this was a totally different format for the All-Star team. I really like it how they had the two captains select the players. I thought that was cool. I thought it's something different. It's something to mix it up. It's not the same old, the same old they've been doing for so many past years. It's cool to see them mix it up a little bit.
But don't you think they should have broadcast this live, this draft?
I 100% think they should have.
I don't understand why the NBA didn't do that.
Even LeBron afterwards, didn't he tweet? He was like, yeah, they should have broadcast that. Like, that was hilarious.
Yeah, hopefully that changes next year too. So 12 players on an All-Star team, maybe that's not enough. Add one or two more players to that roster so deserving players don't get snubbed, like Lou Williams and others.
Yeah, that could be fair. It makes sense. But hey, maybe the NBA will catch wind of Full Court Press and they will hear our suggestions and make those changes.
There you go.
Well, the All-Star Weekend is just a couple of weeks away. It's going to be a lot of fun, as it always is. And then we'll see what the second half of the NBA season entails. How the Raptors end up doing, what the final standings look like going into the playoffs. But for now, I think that that pretty much covers it, Nard Dogg. If people want to keep this conversation going, if they want to chat with you about basketball and what's happening in the world of basketball, how can they do that?
Well, you can always find me on the Twitterverse at David Bernardi7.
Rock and roll, man.
Over there, you'll find me tweet about the Raptors, the NBA, and all that jazz.
Some pretty saucy stuff, so definitely recommend you follow the Nard Dogg on the Twitterverse.
I'm definitely not a fan of NBA refs, I'll tell you that.
I like it. If you want to chat with me about basketball, you can follow me on Twitter at JustinGoulet21. And, of course, make sure to check out the Full Court Press Facebook page, the YouTube channel for past episodes of FCP. See what we've talked about, who we've talked to, and what has gone down in the world of basketball. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Justin Raindrops Goulet.
And I'm the Nard Dogg, David Bernardi.
And we will catch you next time.
Cheers.
You've just been hit with Full Court Press. Courtesy of the men, the myths, the legends, Nard Dogg and Raindrops Goulet.